Hey everybody, Jay from Sci-Fi Nation here, and this was a video I recorded a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago. So please keep that in mind whenever you're watching it. Um, it definitely needs an update, but I wanted to share this video with you, and I hope you enjoy it. There we go, on with the show.
Red alert, 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 red alert.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Nation. Today, we're going to be talking about the Star Trek original series, Season 1 episode Space Seed. We all know and love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, or at least I do. But where did the inspiration for the movie come from? I'm sure most, if not all of you, already know. But for those that may be watching that don't, I'll do my best to enlighten you. On Stardate 3141.9, the USS Enterprise NCC-1701, a Constitution-class starship commanded by Captain James T. Kirk, encountered a derelict spacecraft which originated from Earth in the 1990s, with the name Botany Bay etched on the hull. It's important to remember that this was the period of Earth's Third World War, also known as the Eugenics Wars. That's a subject for its own video, which I'd be happy to do sometime in the future. Dr. McCoy informs the captain that there are 60 to 70 bodies on the ship, as near as he can tell, with a very low heart rate and no discernible respiration. Captain Kirk decides further investigation is warranted and orders a landing party to the transporter room, not giving McCoy a choice in the matter. Upon beaming over to the ship along with Dr. McCoy, Chief Engineer Scott, and ship's historian, Lieutenant Marla McGivers, it is confirmed that it is indeed an Earth vessel from the 20th century. It is also confirmed that there are humans on board in suspended animation, or cryosleep. The leader's chamber is automatically triggered to awaken him as Scotty brings up the lighting on the ship, but it malfunctions and Kirk frees him before the malfunctioning unit kills the leader. McCoy beams to the ship with the leader immediately to administer emergency medical treatment. This leader is, of course, Khan Noonien Singh, as Kirk and company would later discover in the ship's historical database. Now that we've established how Khan came into the picture, let's look at the events that led to his resentment and ultimate quest for revenge against Captain Kirk. Later to be known as Admiral Kirk, as Khan would find out. After Khan's recovery in sickbay, where he has read up on the ship's technical specifications and flirted with Lieutenant McGivers, he went to visit her in her quarters. Here he essentially, what I would consider, con her, pun intended, into falling for him even harder. At this point, he was invited to a Welcome to the 23rd Century dinner with the command staff and Lieutenant McGivers, whose idea it was, where he proceeded to have a battle of wits and words with the captain and Spock over their different ideologies, where we begin to see Khan's true nature start to peek through his carefully crafted self-image. Afterwards, in Khan's quarters, he again pulls McGivers deeper under his control, as I call it, and reveals his intent on seizing control of the Enterprise. It is at this point that, as mentioned earlier, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty find out Khan's real name and identity, and Kirk orders 24-hour guard on Khan's quarters, where he confronts Khan again and matches wits with him. After Kirk leaves Khan's quarters, things start to heat up when Khan forces his door and escapes to the transporter room, where McGivers is waiting for him, holding the crewman manning it at phaser point. He walks in and does what looks like some form of a nerve pinch that incapacitates the crewman. Back on board the Botany Bay, Khan has revived his people from suspended animation, beamed them to the Enterprise, and taken control of the ship from engineering. This included shutting down the turbo lift to the bridge, jamming external communications, locking out the intruder control system, and shutting down life support on the bridge. All knowledge on how to do this was gained from the ship's technical manuals. This is also when Khan cuts the Botany Bay loose from the towing tractor beam, letting it float away. We next see the bridge crew, everyone that is except Captain Kirk, in a conference room with Khan and some of his people, where Khan attempts to persuade them to join him. We also see Kirk in the decompression chamber on a view screen, where it is losing atmosphere. This is Khan's attempt to get even just one person of the crew to join him, and he'll let Kirk live, or so he says. We also find out Khan wants a planet where its people would be letting him and his people rule over them, more likely to conquer and subjugate them, in my humble opinion. Next we see MacGyvers leave the room and the view screen goes out. Thinking that Kirk is dead, Khan orders Spock taken to the chamber where MacGyvers has subdued the guard, restored atmosphere in the chamber, and freed Captain Kirk. She pleads to the captain to spare Khan's life in return for saving his. When Spock and his guard approach the chamber, Kirk and Spock both subdue Spock's guard, and Spock updates Kirk on the current situation. A plan is quickly hatched to use the intruder control circuit, which was cut off from the bridge, at a junction right down the corridor, gassing all decks except the one that they're on. Khan tries making contact with his people, but to no avail, and is then gassed along with everyone else in the conference room. Having escaped just before being rendered unconscious. Scotty also gets out and informs Kirk of this. Spock tells the captain the gas is in all sections except for engineering, where the line was cut. Kirk immediately heads there where Khan is waiting for him. We then have the obligatory fight scene between the two, where Kirk obviously outwits Khan. Kirk obviously had to outwit Khan or outsmart him, because Khan has literally 5 times Kirk's strength, as he stated. Kirk prevents a reactor overload at the last minute and regains control of the Enterprise. In the end, Kirk beams Khan, his people, and MacGyvers, who was given the choice of that or a court-martial for her actions, down to SETI Alpha 5, a habitable, somewhat savage, and a bit of an inhospitable planet according to Spock. After Khan and MacGyvers leave the room, Spock suggests returning in 100 years to see what became of the seed that Kirk planted there today. Now, there are some discrepancies between some of what we see in The Wrath of Khan and this episode due to a decade-and-a-half gap between them, even though canonically it's been only a few years. Those can be easily pointed out in a separate video or even researched on your own with some of the clues you may find in this episode recap. So, was Kirk responsible for causing the events of Star Trek II, or was Khan equally responsible? I think they're both equally responsible in that regard. Kirk having been somewhat naive, and Khan, well, we all know that superior ambition breeds superior stuff. Sorry guys, I forgot what I was saying there. Also, how did the cargo pods of the Botany Bay end up on the planet? And where was Chekhov during all this? All questions for another time. Until next time, my friends, live long and prosper. We'll see you next time on Sci-Fi Nation. Hey everyone, if you like what you just saw, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and if you can, donate. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch us. Until next time, guys. Thanks.